Welcome to Hardback Life. It's time for stories, sass, and strong opinions. Let's turn the page. I'm Cassie, and this is my solo episode this week. Becca had her last week of grad school. She is officially done, so that is super exciting. I should have recorded this earlier in the week, but it's fine. I just got home today from Maryland. Andrew and I and Zelda went down to celebrate with her and some other friends. So I just got home. I had put off recording all week because I was so exhausted, but here I am. So I also, guys, got a new light bulb because I've talked about it on here before. I really hate the lighting in this room. It's like I only have an overhead light. It's an old house. It's not great, right? So I'm working on it. I have to decide, like, it changes colors. Like, I'm obsessed. Andrew really wanted me to get one that I can control on my phone, but I don't know. I like the remote. I think I like pink right now, but I might regret that. My hair does look pink. It's also wet, so it's kind of dark. But yeah, so that's super exciting. So that was our weekend. Becca and Sarah did one together last week. If you haven't watched it, you should. It is smut versus mental health books. And I think it's super interesting. And it's something we've kind of talked about a little bit here and there, but you need to go watch it. What else can I catch you up on? It's been a bit. So we didn't record. So one we recorded. Last one we recorded together was our Oddbirds book opening. Then we did a week without recording. Then it was Sarah and Becca. So this is the longest I have not recorded in a long time. So I'm excited to be back, but it does feel like I have a lot to catch up on, which really, I guess not. Just like I said, the big one was Becca graduating. Super exciting. I'm currently reading, it's an arc. It's called Wrath of the Wild Hunt. It started with Captive of the Wild Hunt, then Bane of the Wild Hunt, and now I'm on Wrath of the Wild Hunt, and it's by A.A. Gordon. I'm reading it through the PR team that we work with, or we're influencers for Rattle the Stars. I'm obsessed. It's so good. It's so good. I did a whole episode on the first book, and I will probably do an episode on the second and third together because I don't think I'm going to be able to talk about just the second without talking about the third. I'm not good at that. And it's so good. It's so good. I'm obsessed. I read until like 2 a.m. last night. I knew I was going to sleep anyway, but yeah, I read it until like 2 a.m. I'm obsessed. It's like dangerously close to like ACOTAR level, but I have nobody to talk about it with. That's why I think I don't think Becca will know that it's that close for me, but because I've talked to her about it, but she hasn't read it. Like, I need somebody to talk to about the book specifically. And I fangirled a little bit because the author messaged me on Instagram, and I did actually get to talk to her about it. So that was exciting. Yeah, I just love it. I'm like really obsessed. The whole magic system is so cool. The world is really cool. I love it. I love it. So yeah, I highly recommend the first two are out. They're on Kindle Unlimited, and you can also buy them. But the Wrath of the Wild Hunt comes out Friday. I want to say the 15th. I'm just double checking that that's Friday. Yeah, Friday, May 15th. So I highly, highly recommend it. Obsessed. Andrew has to hear about it so often. And he's a trooper, but it's just, centaurs and orcs and fae. They're not for him, but he'll listen. He'll listen. And I appreciate that. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I've been listening to audiobooks. I just finished another Laura Lynn Jackson one, The Light Between Us. It was good. I really like her stories about reading for other people. So that one was a little bit harder to get through than Signs, because Signs was strictly just stories about other people. This one was a little bit more about her story and how she came to accepting, being able to do what she could do. So though I found it interesting, it was like, I gave it a 4-star, where I gave Signs 5 stars. I mean, 4 is still good. Other than that, I'm trying to think of audiobooks that I've read that I haven't really talked about on here because I haven't really done much. I read Black AF History, which is just like the unwhitewashed version of history. And I went all the way back to the continent first being discovered. I really enjoyed it. I said in my review that there's there's nothing funny about our history. Our history's not great, but this author is funny. And I thoroughly enjoyed him. So through the audiobook, it was him reading it, and I really enjoyed it. So I would definitely recommend that. I also, last time I went down to Maryland for Oddbirds, I started and finished The Inmate by Frida McFadden in that drive. I just wanted something to listen to keep me awake. I was exhausted that weekend. So I just wanted to be awake and interested in the book. So that was good. I had to wait a while for some of those books. So I I don't think I've read as or listened to as many audiobooks as I have in the past this month because I was just waiting for a long time for them. Oh, The Body Keeps Score. I did DNF that. I tried. I did. I got like more than halfway. No, maybe like just halfway through, but I did DNF. And then I did read, I don't remember if I said this on here, but I read I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy and The Book of Hope by Jane Goodall. Loved it. So that's kind of like yeah, I've said it on here before. Audiobooks are how I'm getting in my nonfiction, but it takes a while to get them on Libby. It takes a bit. Especially like I think the Black AF one that I don't know if that recently came out. I actually didn't look, but that one I was on, I was on a wait for a long time. I still have 2 holds and I don't even remember what they are at this moment in time. So this kind of leads me into the topic for today. Like I said, I was going to do Bane of the Wild Hunt and Wrath of the Wild Hunt, but I want to wait until Wrath of the Wild Hunt is out because I don't want to do spoilers for people who want to read it. So I'm gonna give it some time because I really want to talk about it. So that'll have to wait for when I do another solo one down the line. I was gonna have to like figure out her life post grad school, so I don't know how soon or how late that'll be. We'll see. But anyway, let's talk TBRs, guys, because mine's a catastrophe. Like, I want to be really organized about my TBR. I want to be able to look at it in one spot, but here's what mine is like. I have photos spread all over my gallery, all over my phone gallery. I have lists on Amazon, and I have notes of books that like in my notes app on not the computer, on my phone. I have lists going of other books that I want to read. Like, I am not organized. I am not. And the thing is, because I don't want to forget. So if I'm in a bookstore, I take a picture of the book really quick so I don't forget. If I'm watching a TikTok, then I throw it on the list or on Amazon really quick. So I really try, like, I need to organize, and is Goodreads the best place to organize it? Should I just keep a list on my phone? Here's the thing with Goodreads that I struggle with because I'm such a self-conscious person. I worry about putting some of the books I want to read public because like some of them are, and I'm not knocking them by any means. I personally am not knocking anybody's reading choices, but some of them are TikTok books, like smaller independent authors, TikTok books. And I don't want people to see them and judge me for my reading choices, even though I know I don't judge other people. No, I always say treat others the way you want to be treated, but I know not everybody does that, or they treat people badly and are fine with that. I don't know. I don't know. So I'm self-conscious about people being like, wow, that she wants to read really dumb books. But I don't think there's anything like, there's no dumb books. I think all books serve a purpose. I'm just self-conscious about other people thinking that about me. So is Goodreads the best option? It probably is, because that's where I put all the books I read. The only one I have on Goodreads, technically on my TBR right now, is Broken Dove, because I had entered a raffle to try and win it. So it ended up on my TBR automatically, which that comes out in a week. I'm so excited. I can't wait. That's the second to Silver Elite. Sorry, that was like a squirrel moment, but I had to get it out. I'm so excited for that. So is that the best way to organize? Does anybody use anything besides Goodreads? Like, I see Fable sometimes, and I think that's the one that I like. That's colorful. The issue is Goodreads is free for all of the things that it does. I mean, all. It doesn't do much. It just has your list. Whereas like Fable, yeah, it's cool and it makes these really cool graphics and stuff, but I don't want to pay. Like, I already pay for Kindle Unlimited. And granted, that's like $11 a month. It's well worth it. I read way more books on that than like, because I don't have to buy them because I'm paying for the subscription. But I don't know. Like, these other apps look really cool, but I don't want to pay for anything. And I hate the ads. So I like Goodreads because it's simple and it's free. So there's no ads with it. There's no like, try to upgrade for this feature. No, I want all my features for free. So is there other apps that are cooler or more aesthetically pleasing than Goodreads? And I just haven't researched into them enough. Let me know, because I really, like I said, I use Goodreads pretty religiously, but I don't put my TBR on there. Now, the reason this is all coming up for me is because my phone, I was trying to take videos of something recently, and my phone was like, your storage is full. Try again, basically. Like, it was like, this isn't gonna work, girl. So I had to go through and delete apps and delete photos, and I'm scrolling through the photos and I'm like, oh my gosh, there are so many pictures of books in here and like screenshots from TikTok and stuff that I'm like, I probably I need to organize this. I should. But I don't know where to put it. Do I write it all down? But then what if I lose that notebook? Like, I do feel like Goodreads makes the most sense. But again, does my list have to be public? Because I really don't. I feel weird about that. I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. The other thing about TBRs is, how do people prioritize what they're reading? So I read ARCs, so obviously those kind of go to the top of my pile. Because there's dates and, you sign up for them. So those kind of go to the top of my pile. Also, side note, again, technically has nothing to do with it because I brought up ARCs. I applied for BK Borison's Grim Tidings, and I really hope I get it. I read her, not First Time Caller, but the sequel to that, And Now Back to You. I got that as a arc, so I'm really hoping to get this one as the arc. I don't know. Just posted on NetGalley on Friday, I think, Thursday or Friday. So I'm still waiting. But we'll see. Fingers crossed, guys. I really hope to get it. So yeah, so arcs always go to the top of my list. Then I'm into book clubs. So I guess those kind of go up a little bit too, because then we meet at once a month. So I have to get these books in. But it's like, when do I read for just myself? Like, I do get those in, especially nonfiction ones. But I want to have more ones that I want to read. Does that make sense? Like, arcs are ones I want to read, because I wouldn't apply for an arc I didn't expect or hope that to like, obviously. Book club is hit or miss. Everybody has different tastes in both clubs, And the other thing is, for book clubs specifically, is I really don't want to have to buy the books all the time. So I struggle with even prioritizing book club where it should be, because I don't want to have to pay for all these books. The last book I paid for book club was Matt Haig's Reasons to Stay Alive. That's a lie. Technically, I did buy Alice Feeney's My Husband's Wife. What's that called? Hold on, it's on Kindle. Yeah, I did buy Alex Feeney's My Husband's Wife, but I didn't read it in time for book club. So I still haven't read it. But you have it, and I do plan on reading it. Alice Feeney has been one that I've been really wanting to get to, and I was very interested in that book. So I'm not upset that I bought it. But before that, the last one I had bought was Matt Haig's, and I hated it. You guys know that. I'm not afraid of saying that. But so now I struggle to buy any. Like, the work one I'm in, I got one through the library. The first one through my one library. I belong to 3 libraries. One through my local library. The second one I didn't read because I couldn't find it anywhere. It was The Favorites. It's about figure skating. I forgot the word for it. It's about figure skating. I didn't read because I didn't want to pay for it. It's not on Kindle Unlimited. It wasn't at my libraries. I don't want to pay for it. Especially, like, that wasn't one I was interested in. Like, the Alice Feeney one, like, I'm fine buying that because I wanted to read it anyway. Then the last one for work was the newest Abby Jimenez one. So I really did put in a lot of effort on that one, but without paying for it, because I've not read any Abby Jimenez. I'm not anti-romance. You guys know I love a good romance, but it's just not one I care to have, So I didn't read that. This month is one on Kindle Unlimited, so it's fine. But then my other book club this month is a brand new one also, and it's the new ones that are killing me, because they're not softback yet. They're not on Kindle Unlimited. They're impossible to get at a library. So I don't know. I have a hard time prioritizing book club the way that it deserves. So arcs always come first, then book club if it's a feasible book to get, and then ones for myself are probably last. So I'm interested to know how people prioritize those. On top of, like, I also have physical books, which I guess technically would be part of my TBR, right? Like, these are a stack of independent authors that I just got at a book event I went to with my mom and my sister. So, like, when am I going to get to those? I don't know, but I buy them because I want to read them. But when in the world am I ever going to have time to get to all of these books? Like, have one over there. I forget what it's called. The Ember. Hold on. An Ember in the Ashes. I've had that for like 2 years, and I want to get into the series. I'm not trying to put it off. There's just always something else to read. And like I said, the priority always is arcs, and then if I can get the book club books. So it's like, what I'm struggling figuring out when I'm going to read books I want to read for myself, Like, I really want to read that. Obviously, that goes without, like, SJM is not involved in that. Rebecca Yarros not involved in that. Because the second those books come out, I will be reading them. I don't care what I'm in the middle of. I will stop. Or I'll just try to finish everything so that when they come out, I can get to those, right? So I don't know. I struggle with how to keep track of my TBR, to sum it all up, because I definitely, like, zigzagged a lot. to sum up, I struggle with how to keep my TBR because, again, physical books are technically TBR, pictures in my phone, lists in my phone, and lists on Amazon. So I need to organize one place. And I'm hesitant, as I mentioned before, putting it on Goodreads because I feel weird about it being public. I don't know why. It feels personal. And I feel like that's like being really extra about it. I don't think most people think that way. But it feels personal. And then prioritizing what I'm going to read. I am a quick reader. So that does work out for me where like I'll do an arc, then I'll do one for myself. I'll do an arc, then I'll do a book club, you know? Like I really do try to flip-flop between everything. I do think the ones I get to the least are ones that I want for myself. And then the biggest obstacle with TBRs is they just keep growing. I don't know how, like anytime I see a post on Bookstagram and people are like, I finished my physical TBR, or I finished my TBR, my 2024, I wasn't even last year, my 2025 TBR. Like, how do you do that? I want to do that. Tell me how to be better because I don't know how. And it really makes me sad. Not real anxiety, but like I have this, not worry, I don't know what to call it. It's like this bothersome thought, I guess is what I'll go with, that I am not going to get to read all of the books I want to read in my lifetime. There are so many books and not enough time to read them all. And that honestly makes me sad because how to prioritize who to put first, you know? Does that make sense? Is that really dramatic? It probably is. But it makes me sad to think that I'm not going to get to every single book in my lifetime that I want to. So it's like, how do I prioritize? When you think about that, when you think about it that way, how do you prioritize what authors, what books are the most important ones to get to? But obviously, series I've started, those pull more priority. But if it's a new series like Ember and the Ash is like, how do I get to that? How do I finally get to read that? Because I want to really bad. But I just keep adding more and more and more. And I don't know what to do about it. Christy Wolf, she was an author we had on here at this point months ago, I guess. She's amazing. Like she's such a great person. She's so kind. She works a lot with the Oddbird Bookshop. I have her first 2 books sitting over there and I want to read them so bad. They sound so good. I bought it before I even knew Christy. We interacted because Becca and I were at an Oddbirds pop-up and we posted that I bought that and we tagged Christy. So it kind of just came together that way. But I still haven't even gotten to read that. And that's over a year ago at this point, I think, or is a year ago at this point. And I want to get to them. I mean, have you seen the man on the cover? I need to find out about him. I really need to. So that's a big struggle. And I would be really interested to know how other people do it. How do people who read their whole TBRs do it? Find this video, or somebody send those people this video because I need guidance on how to be a better reader. I don't know, read my TBR. I don't know, because the issue is I don't get to ones that I've had on. This is probably the biggest issue, is I don't get to ones I've had on my shelf, my literal shelf or like my TBR shelf. I don't get to those. When I see a new book, I'll pick that up. I try to, like Becca has mentioned this. If I say I'm going to read a book, if I put that in this is what's coming up, I will get to it. So maybe that's what I just have to start doing is like, okay, the next book, no matter what comes out, is going to be an Ember in the Ashes. I don't know. That's just the one that's on top of my head. The next book is going to be this. And I just need to commit to that. I don't know. I guess that's really the only way I'm going to do it. I'm just struggling because I keep adding. And then I guess when it's fresh on my mind, then I want to read it, you know? Like when I saw The Wild Hunt that I'm currently reading, like I ran to fill out that arc request because I wanted to read that. Like I knew I was going to like that. I'm also reading Uprooted was the first one. Untangled is the second one. I'm reading that arc. I ran to fill that one out because I knew I would really enjoy it. Well, actually, I guess I didn't technically know that one because I've never really read space romance before. I've read fantasy romance before, obviously, guys. Yeah, I struggle. I struggle with prioritizing. Yeah, that's the hard one. And because I enjoy arcs and it's a great way to find books by authors maybe I wouldn't necessarily have seen or checked out otherwise. Like, I don't think, unless I happen to see it on Instagram, I'm not sure if I ever would have picked up Captive of the Wild Hunt. I'm so glad that I did. And I'm glad that I prioritize arcs so that I can read books like that and Uprooted. But I'm not sure that those are books I would have, read without doing that. Again, First Time Caller was on my TBR for a long time, but it wasn't until I got approved for And Now Back to You that I finally read First Time Caller and then read And Now Back to You. So arcs are much easier to prioritize because I have a set date that it's due, So how else do you do it, guys? Help me. Help me finish reading my TBR. Help me read all the books on my shelf. Because every time I finish a book and I say I'm going to start a new book, he goes, "What about the ones on your shelf?" And I say, "I'll get there eventually." It hasn't come yet. That's not good. I showed him this. This is another side tangent, but I showed him, he doesn't have TikTok, but we do for our account. So I showed him this video and it was a wife and she was like, "Hey, I really want this new book. Can we go to the bookstore?" And from somewhere off screen, the husband just threw all of her books at her. And it was like a whole minute of him just throwing books onto the floor in front of her. And Andrew goes, "I have never connected to something so strongly in my life." And I can't help it. And I try to explain that buying books and reading books are two separate hobbies, but he doesn't buy that. And also because he listens to records, like, yes, listening to records and buying records are two separate hobbies, I would say. He will buy a record and listen to it within the next couple days. Like, he does not let that record go unlistened to, and I just can't do that with books because when I pick up a book or I buy a book, well, I might already be in the middle of another book, and I have a backlog. So how am I going to do that? I don't know. I need somebody to help me prioritize. Some people just put in a jar. I've seen that. Should I just do a TBR jar? I don't know. Yeah, so I just need help. I need help with organizing it. I think I'm going to try to prioritize putting it on Goodreads for now because I need to create space in my photo gallery. I guess for now I'll do Goodreads, but if somebody else has a really good website or app that they use, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Goodreads. I just really like how colorful some of the other ones are. I like colors. And I like the graphics that they make. But there's nothing wrong with Goodreads. I like it. So maybe I'll just prioritize putting them all on there. But like I said, I'm just self-conscious. I don't judge other people by what they read, and I just wouldn't want to be judged by some of what I would like to read. You know what I mean? But if I read it, eventually it's going to go on the regular spot anyway. So it doesn't really matter, I guess. I'm just in my own head. So I need help organizing it. Let me know if you know any better ways. And then I also need help. How do I decide what to read? How do I prioritize that? I want to read more of my backlog, I guess. And there's no way I can stop putting things on my TBR. So how do I get to more of the backlog that I have? Is it just, Cassie, shut up and just do it? Probably. I feel like that's going to be probably the way to go, is just like stop complaining and pick an old book off. Not old, but like book that you've had for a while. Probably. I feel like that's all. That's really the only way to do it, is you just do it, Nike. You just do it. I don't know. This was a really short one, guys, because this was just on the tip of my brain. It's something I had to get out. If anybody can help me, please help me. Hopefully next week we're back together. I can't. I'll let you know. We don't know. Like I said, Becca is done with grad school. So shout out Becca. Congratulations again. So Becca's done with grad school. So her schedule is going to start looking different. So we're just going to have to kind of figure that out first. Worst case, you see one of us by ourselves again, but we'll figure it out. We'll get back on track eventually, guys. If I do have to do one by myself, it's probably going to be the Wild Hunt because I can't wait to talk about it more. Shout out to social media. We work really hard to post on Instagram every single day. We have our website. Obviously, YouTube is a big one for us. If you're bored or even just have some extra time, you should give some of our older episodes a listen. I'm really struggling to figure out how some episodes do better. I mean, we only have one that has over 100, which is our Oddbirds one, which is amazing. But like, how else can we advertise it? We post on Instagram, TikToks. I'll post, clips from it. I don't know how else to advertise our podcast. Really, I say YouTube because that's where most of our listens come from. Or views, I guess, technically for YouTube. But we're also on Spotify and Apple. So we're going to have to figure that. I'm really trying. I'm looking at algorithms. I'm trying like more clickbaity titles. I don't know. I'm working on it. But if you want to go back and listen to some of those, that would be amazing. Also comment, like, share, rate, follow, subscribe, depending on what you're listening to this on. And that's all I got. It's a shorter episode, but that's okay. Until next chapter, stay cunning, stay brave, and remember you are your own high lady. Bye, guys.